I know what I have to do, but I just can't. I love him. I already killed him once. I can't do it again. Please. I gave 76 everything. You were all so brilliant. The first few years were hard, but we learned to trust each other. You learned to trust me. I was young. So young. Younger than most of you. But you accepted me as your overseer. So I need you to do this for me. Let Evan rest. He didn't deserve any of this. The Scorched, eliminating this plague, it's not just about survival now. It's personal. We have to secure the nukes. Wipe this disease off the map. Overseers, let's call these personal journals. Not an official log, just something for me. I was in my junior year when I got the news that Mom died. Mining accident. Everyone in West Virginia has a story like that in the family. You never think it's gonna be you. Dad was in pieces. I started living in the library more than before, and I was already there most days to begin with. And Evan... God. Evan. Mom had introduced us just a few months before. Graduated a year ahead of me, just went right to work in the mines. So handsome. Oh, and those arms. What West Virginia girl could resist all that? I can't believe he stuck with me. After the funeral, I didn't want anyone around. But there he was, showing up in the library after his shift with a lunchbox for us to share. Every day. Evan chose that moment to propose, that lughead. He knew I wouldn't say no after hearing the news. He knew me better than anyone. Dad died a few months after Evan and I moved in together. He really wanted to walk me down the aisle. Well, I didn't really get to walk down there either, so... I think it's time I went home. I owe Evan that much. 4 years of living, learning, and breathing Vault-Tec. Graduating with honors in the overseer track. Dad was so proud. He came out even though he was already so sick. I must have impressed the right people because I was offered the next available overseer slot. I had just graduated. It was supposed to take years. Maybe they knew the war was inevitable. When I learned that 76 was going to be built, I was so excited I jumped right out of my chair and did a little dance around the living room. Appalachia would be safe, no matter what happened. When the career fair came, and I met the people from Vault-Tec, it was like a light turned on. Protecting families, protecting their future, protecting America? The first thing I did when I got the acceptance letter to Vault-Tec University was head over to Mom's grave with Dad. He was happy I was staying in West Virginia. So was I. Well, since I'm doing this whole trip down memory lane, maybe a walk over to the old high school is in order. Overseer's personal journal. Overseer's personal journal. Yes, experimenting on Vault residents was ethically wrong, but the goal of finding the most suitable people to repopulate, to understand humanity pushed to the extremes, what if that was the only way for us to survive? We can't save everyone. That's what they always told us. And I still think, they were right. Vault-Tec found out that I knew. I thought I was going to be fired or arrested, but instead they confided in me. Vault 76 was going to be a control vault, no experiment. Overseer's personal journal. Vault 76 was built to take the best and the brightest. But that wasn't what all the vaults were for. The Societal Preservation Program. I wasn't supposed to know about it. But when I found out, Evan wanted me to tell the press. But I didn't. I was so relieved, but they told me I was going to be assigned to Vault 101 in Washington, D.C. I had to leave West Virginia, my people, behind. I couldn't let them do that. No matter what it took. I'm so sorry, Evan. I wish I could say I would have made another choice. That I would have picked dying in this house together when the bombs fell. I never stopped thinking about you. And I'm not giving up until I find out what happened. If you're not here, then there's only one other place you'd want to be. The mines. I found him. Evan. He's down there. Just like I thought he'd be. But I didn't think he'd be one of those things, the green lesions on his face that... Oh, God. I did this to him. It's all my fault. They told me I could have Vault 76, but not if I was married. They would have had to give Evan a spousal exemption and give him space in the vault. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I'm home. I'm sorry it's been so long, but I couldn't get away. I know neither of you is around to hear this, but I miss you. I miss watching Dad grade papers on the living room table. I miss the three of us huddled around the radio, listening to the Silver Shroud. Dad, you were right about what living underground would really be like. 25 years locked in with the same people was a challenge. But watching them pair up, get married, have children, well, I think I got to know a little bit of what you and Mom were always telling me. Overseer's personal journal. But there was someone more qualified. A civil engineer, someone with the skills to help rebuild. He was a distant cousin of a Vault-Tec executive and almost made the cut. 76 was for the best and brightest, and Evan didn't qualify. Deep down, I knew they were right. So I broke off the engagement. I sacrificed him for the vault, for Appalachia. The Agricultural Center, one of my first posts with Vault-Tec. I was so excited because I used to come to this same farm when I was a kid. I remember one year at the Autumn Festival, me running through the corn maze, going every which way, Mom and Dad yelling after me to slow down. Wasn't gonna happen. I guess I was always hitting life fast. Couldn't just be a Pioneer Scout. I had to make troop leader. Couldn't just be a good student. I had to have straight A's. God, I miss those early days. Just being a kid. The three of us, our simple life, our simple house. I wonder if it's still standing. I had a directive from Vault-Tec. Secure the region's 3 nuclear missile silos. We had to make sure they didn't fall into the wrong hands. I knew I couldn't do it alone, so I asked you, my Vault 76 family, for help. And what did you do? My God, why? How could you do this? We were supposed to take control of the nukes, not engage in an Appalachian arms race. Please, stop this madness. The cycle of destruction has to stop! I haven't lost faith in you. I know you are good people and will do the right thing. If anything, I've lost my faith in Vault-Tec. They gave me a mission I could never accomplish on my own. They must have known I'd need your help. Did they also know what you'd do? It's just so hard not to feel manipulated. Broadcasting to the people of Vault 76. This is the Overseer. We need to talk, face to face. I've missed all of you, but this isn't just about a reunion. We have work to do. I'll be waiting. In Sutton. Pretty crazy out there, huh? I know we have a lot to catch up on. But first, I have to ask. Did you finish the inoculation against the Scorched Plague? Please, it's vitally important. This is it. We need to get the power up and running and reformulate the machines for the inoculation. Fire everything up, and try not to get killed. I tried jump-starting them, but the reactors are completely shot. Bad power couplings. You're back. You get those settlements to see that they need our help? I've been looking into where we can mass-produce the inoculation. Some of the obvious choices are messy, but if you just sit back and ask yourself, who could have manufactured a lot of specially formulated liquid in sterile packaging, it becomes obvious. Nuka-Cola scientists were trying chemical substitutions to make new flavors. That's how we're gonna trick it into making the inoculation. We just need to figure out how to mix soda ingredients to produce human antibodies. Easy, right? That's it! Freedom from the plague, in a bottle. While you're handing those out, I'll start organizing things here and get a plan in place to get more to whomever needs them. Meet me back in Sutton when you're done. Reminds me of the equipment back at the Vault-Tec Ag Center. Let me know if you want me to take over. This is it. You do the honors. Well, that was... I'm sorry. I just can't help but wonder what it was like to actually work here. I mean, can you believe this? Agreed. But with trouble comes opportunity, if we can get ahead of it. But first, we need to make sure the newcomers don't get infected. Do you think I like sending you into harm's way? I don't. But we have to lean on each other. I need you, all of you, to do your part. I'm trying to make sure you're okay. That's my #1 priority right now. For all of you. So please, you need to tell me. Is the inoculation finished? Thank you. Really. It's good to have my Vault family around again. I don't want to lead us down the wrong track, but I've got my suspicions. The gold people are finding in the rivers can't be a coincidence. But first, we need to make sure the newcomers don't get infected. It'll be better in our hands, whatever it is. But first, we need to make sure the newcomers don't get infected. That's added your blood sample as an ingredient. I guess that technically makes you Nuka-Cola's newest flavor. Actually, maybe don't think about that too much. That's it! Now we just need to manufacture the formula. Whoa, easy there, Grognak. Scorched plague, remember? We can't inoculate them with force. We need to get them to agree. Good, because we're gonna need a lot more of it. Have you been to the mountains lately? It's not just us anymore. People from outside Appalachia are coming in. I snuck around 2 of the larger groups and saw them both building. Walls, housing, defensive positions. They're coming to stay. Each and every one of them is walking into a medical crisis they don't even know about. Exactly. Another step towards rebuilding our country. I've got some plans that we'll talk about later. But first, we need to make sure the newcomers don't get infected. I think that's part of what's fueled the wild stories about it. A box you can't open just makes you want to see what's inside even more. But whatever it is, it can wait. We need to make sure the newcomers don't get infected. You didn't find my tapes? This disease has turned people into something else. You'll see them. The burned skin, the glowing lesions. There's a vaccine the responders were working on at AVR Medical. You need to finish the research and get inoculated. Hurry back once you're done. We've got plenty to do. I know. Believe me, I know. But we can't focus on what other people could have done. We have to focus on us, our future. So please, you need to tell me. Is the inoculation finished? I know I owe you a sit-down, but I need to discuss this first. Now, the inoculation. Did you finish it? I'll be quick. Once you're on board, we can catch up, and I'll answer any questions you might have. Don't put it off. You don't want this disease. And I don't want to see anyone from 76 infected. Judging by the architecture, the ones to the north are the old Raider pals that crazy robot Rose keeps going on about. You might, need to talk to her about them. See if she can arrange a meeting or whatever their word is for "we need to talk, don't shoot us." The ones to the south look more like a caravan of families, but who knows what they've been through. Don't let your guard down around either of them. Oh, yeah. I can't remember the official title. You'd think it'd be burned in my head with how many times I played that for everyone. The reality is a little different, though, isn't it? Prepare for the future. Not our problem? Did you lose your eyesight in the vault? Look around. If those people become scorched, we're all as good as dead. Talk to these newcomers. Get them to accept our help. I'll work on finding a way to make enough of the inoculation for all of them. I don't know if you've been following the rumors, but there's something in the mountains. No one's managed to get into it yet, but one thing's for certain. It's a vault. I eavesdropped on some of the newcomers, and whatever is inside there has gone from speculative guesses to full-blown fantasy. Stories of untold riches would draw groups of people even before we turn the world into a wasteland. Hope and greed are powerful motivators. I knew I could count on you. I'll work on finding a way to make enough of the inoculation for everyone. You just get them all to agree. Now that one crisis is over, it's time we start working on that mystery in the mountains. Have you heard the latest? A few other people from 76 made the trek into the mountains to find this treasure we keep hearing about. It's a vault. Vault 79. Sealed tight, with no obvious way in. The rumor mill about what's inside is running wild. Over 25 years in the making for me, but it's time to finally see what it's hiding. Meet you there? You know, all your talk about the Vault Tech training and thinking about the old days, I almost... Well, never mind. I'm just glad everything worked. Right. Anyway, I'll meet you there. Thank you for that. Amazing how selective your memory is getting. You have problems with how I do things. I get that. I do. But we're making a difference. What a relief, huh? We'll get shipments up and running in case that first batch wasn't enough. Look, I know you're doing more than your fair share of the work. Don't think I didn't notice. Thank you. Exactly. And that's made the rumors about what's inside grow wild. We don't have a way in, but I think I have a plan to at least find out what's inside. Every student who graduates Vault-Tec University has a story about the restricted wing, where all the higher-ups would have their meetings. And not just stuffy professors and their Mr. Handy assistants. I mean sit-downs with government officials. The military, wise ass. It's a vault, okay? Vault 79. I was a little busy before, remember? The scorched plague, the nukes. Look, just meet me there, okay? I know it's even worse than we imagined, but someone's got to know where the missile silos are and how to secure them. The responders are the best lead we have. This is the Overseer, signing off. My God, there's no one here. The old tavern, the church, people were using them for shelter, but they're gone. Mutations we expected. But there's something else. A disease. I was attacked by... Well, it used to be a person, but it had these green, glowing lesions, and its voice, angry, tortured. We are one. One what? Whatever happened here is beyond anything we expected. And we expected a lot. If only they had survived. What I wouldn't give to have a few of America's finest watching my back right now. As it is, I'll have to find out how they were planning to combat the Scorched on my own. Once I can figure out a way through these doors. No Stimpaks left. Funny joke in here about practicing what you preach. This is the Overseer. Signing off. Hopefully not for the last time. I wonder, now that I'm in the Army, is my official title Overseer Private or Private Overseer? Oh, time to see if I can fool a few automated identification systems. But it's been 25 years. I just don't know what we're gonna find out there. Or where to start. My directive was to go to the nearest population center and assess the situation. I'll set up a camp on the way once I get my bearings. Find me there. Our future begins today. You'll be rebuilding America, while I'll be making sure you never have to again. But I'm glad you did. Truth is, I need your help. I've been given a task, and I've decided to break protocol and tell you what it is. Because if there's one thing I've learned in these past few years, it's that we need to rely on each other. I wondered what could possibly cause all this. And then I got my answer. It swooped down from the sky, screeching, breathing, infecting everything. I don't know how to fight this. But we need to consider all our options. Even the nukes. We find the source of this scorched plague and wipe it from the map before it can leave Appalachia. Those scorched things are everywhere. I kept quiet. They didn't see me. I managed to observe them for a bit. Whatever this disease is, it seems to completely take over its host. The ones that used to be human, eventually they go rigid, like some kind of stasis. And if they stay like that for too long, they sort of burn up from the inside out. Vesuvius in reverse. Dealing with these terminal systems like it's just a normal day in America is somewhere between disturbingly comforting and completely insane. But there's a lot of secrets in this old capital that we'll need to find. Maybe I'm going crazy, but it was nice to put on the uniform and play pretend with a bunch of robot drill sergeants. I actually think I learned a thing or two about marksmanship. If we can't secure these sites, my God, the automated factory in the silo? Just how many nukes can it make? No one's here. Not even any military survivors. It might be for the best. I don't think Vault-Tec asserting jurisdiction over the nukes would have gone over well. But it also means I'm locked out. Access is restricted to the highest-ranking officers. It's not going to be easy to fool. The mayor of Grafton used to be the automated assistant, and it's gone completely mad. Still trying to run the town. Even holds elections for itself. We built these machines to do things without us, and they have. Might be useful if I played along. A mental asylum as a last stand against the Scorched. Brave, crazy, and crazy brave, the Army way. At least I'm pretty sure the Brotherhood had former U.S. Army members. Judging by the security systems, if automation still rules West Virginia, then Charleston is the heart of the machine. Bureaucracy still pumping away without any people to serve. There's a lesson there somewhere. Oh, not good. Not good. Not good. Just trying to focus. But the pain is unreal. So bad. Want to do this now while I can. I'm afraid I might pass out. There's someone in control of this old ski resort, and if I ever find her, I'm gonna wash her mouth out with the first thing vaguely resembling soap I can get my hands on. Oh, selfish. That's the word. Maybe that's why she's alone. Maybe that's why she survived. But the only way she'll tell me what she knows is if I help her first. It takes a certain calling to voluntarily run into the middle of a fire. Rescue people. Looks like they kept up that spirit, even as the dangers changed. They must have fought the scorched up close more than anyone. I need to find out what they knew. Sam Blackwell and Raleigh Clay. Those damn traitors and their secessionists turned their backs on America to form their free states. Concrete bunkers. You'd never get that past a Vault-Tec radiation proofing inspection, that's for sure.
Good morning, Vault 76.
Sounds like they let go of their paranoia long enough to seek out help from the other survivors. Just have to hack this terminal, see what they left behind in there, and what they wanted to do. All the good people I've learned about who've died, and it's the sociopath who still gets to live. If they're following military logic, then they'll have a fortified headquarters somewhere, and a leader, someone who knew what they were planning. Just who was this Brotherhood of Steel? Survivalists? Former Army personnel? They took their training and their call signs seriously, that's for certain. Organized, efficient, access to hardware? You'd think they'd be ruling West Virginia by now. But they're gone.
Today is Reclamation Day.
Automation used to define life in West Virginia. Now it's the only thing left. These training programs that the responders have set up. How many survivors were running through these? Was attacked. Some kind of... I think it was wearing a gas mask. A heavy coat, but not human. Not human. And what did they do? Close ranks. Get paranoid. Refuse to work with one another. And it cost them all their lives. People of Vault 76, if you're listening, do not fall into the same trap. You find each other. You work with each other. Only together will you win. This is your overseer, and I'm begging you, please, save our country. The more I travel this God-forsaken wasteland, the more I realize what truly destroyed West Virginia, and what destroyed any chance the survivors had of actually surviving. Mistrust. All these divergent groups, responders, Brotherhood of Steel, whatever. Separately, they had everything necessary to beat the odds. Brains, brawn, and bravado to spare. From my recollection, they were well-trained and highly disciplined, the kind of group I thought Appalachia really needed. But given time and some more reading, especially from people who dealt with them, I'm not sure if I agree with their approaches. Some people from that time saw them as taking what they wanted, when they wanted. Threatening compliance, or else. I don't know if this new group follows those same principles, but the communities of Appalachia today wouldn't stand for it. Maybe it's unfair of me to make presumptions. I've never met the West Virginia group, let alone these new arrivals. Just, please, be careful not to let your guard down completely. No one can afford to these days. That's deplorable. I know for a fact you've been taught better than that. For the good of the region, I implore you to not provoke the heavily armed military force at our doorstep. I tend to agree, but, I'd like to offer a bit of caution. They may present themselves as altruistic saviors, but actions will speak louder than words. Okay, what else did you want to talk about? If you're planning on working with this new group, I recommend getting to know their history in Appalachia first. You can head over to Camp Venture, or Allegheny Asylum, Fort Defiance, to learn more. Not much more than you, I suppose. We've both been through their hallowed grounds, seen what's become of them. I'm with you on this. I agree with much of what they stand for. However, looking into their history shows their methodology can be a little troubling. Think that all you want. I know firsthand how easy it is to be manipulated by that kind of influence. I just hope you don't fall into the same trap that I did. I've spent my life beholden to an organization's virtuous beliefs. It's nothing more than a way to control how people think. I hope that if you spend time with them, you won't allow yourself to be blinded by their ways. Never stop seeing the world through your own eyes. If there's anything I've learned in all this, it's that humans can and will abuse technology. So, I agree with the Brotherhood's stance on collecting and containing technology. To a degree, our world has become wild, deadly. People need to be able to protect themselves, not out of some classic American principle, but out of survival. If they plan to hoard away weaponry, they must offer protection in return. And I can't imagine they have the numbers, or possibly the will, to do so. Oh, how opportunistic of you. I'm going to assume you don't really mean that. I'd hate to think I associate with someone with such selfish goals. What did you want to know? No, I haven't. But Davenport has been helping me keep a close eye on them since they arrived. And from what I hear, you've been pitching in. I take it you trust them? Sure. What about them? You're absolutely right. And it would be wrong to not honor that sacrifice. But fighting the Scorched was for their own survival as well, not just for the good of Appalachia. It makes me wonder, what if they succeeded? What would Appalachia look like under their rule today?
Such a huge responsibility. You have been tasked with nothing less than the rebuilding of America. But it's time to get up and get out there. We've been locked away long enough.
You've delivered the inoculation? Is it done? Do they have the inoculation? Good job! That'll be enough power to get the larger equipment up and running. That's it! Now we just need to restart the reactor, then we can manufacture the formula. Whoa, why don't I step in for a bit? Look, Professor Bott, we might be the only living human beings connected to this university anymore. Shouldn't protocol side with us? You mean the vault simulation? That's ridiculous. All the professors are gone. The vaults have already been assigned. This is ridiculous. Even if we had 4 years to waste, which we don't, the university is empty. There's no professors anymore. Looks like it's back to Professor Bott. I'll admit this wasn't a terrible simulation. Some good lessons to learn. If you were paying attention. Let's see if that old Bott will finally give us the access we need. Keep an eye out. Who knows what Vault-Tec was hiding in the restricted wing. Be careful. Let's go. Quiet. Listen. This could be it. Pay attention. Talk to the newcomers. We'll need them if we're gonna get into that vault. I'll meet you back in Sutton. Can't believe this old bucket of bolts is still around. The senior class would kidnap him every year as a prank. Like it or not, Professor Bott might be our only way into the restricted wing. A vault simulation, run by robots. Be prepared for anything. Just remember, the goal of all these simulations is to keep the vault running. And under your authority. We should keep moving. Sooner we're done, the better. Glad you're here. Maybe the two of us together can talk some sense into this machine. This is it. Somewhere past this maintenance area is the restricted wing. Let's talk downstairs. Cozy as this place is, there's someone I'd like you to meet. Oh, thank God you're here. It's just so good to see you. Let me introduce you to Davenport. He's been helping me with some reconnaissance, keeping an eye on Appalachia. We really went overboard with this place. Feel free to look around. I couldn't have pulled this place off without him. Let's talk. There's still a lot of work ahead, but I think you've more than earned a break. Plenty of legwork I need to do before we're ready for the next phase of our plan. But Vault 79 is ours now, thanks to you. Now I think it's time we talked about what happened in there. I heard you made some tough calls. Glad that's over with. Phew. Let's get back to work. I'm not used to this much excitement. Guess we'll live to fight another day. Not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, no you don't. Need some help here. I'm down. Damn. They got me. Bleeding out here. Someone help. Damn it. Get off me. Watch out. Look out. I really don't have time for this. Careful.
I hope you all enjoyed the party last night, even those who may have overindulged and overslept. When you hear this, it means I've been gone for several hours. I've got my own mission out there in Appalachia. I've left one final message in my office on the terminal. Just listen to the holotape. Just know that Vault-Tec is proud of you. I am proud of you.
You see this? The cooking station, the stash box, the workbenches, all built with the camp. You need a home base out there. The construction and assembly mobile platform is designed to give you one. Just add resources, planning, and a little elbow grease. When you move your camp, everything you've built is stored, ready to be placed back down in the new area. Use this to establish a foothold whenever you're in unfamiliar territory. Overseer's log, south of Vault 76. I've left my camp behind so you can use it. I know I'm breaking my own advice by not taking it with me. But after seeing Appalachia for myself, I need to make sure every resident of 76 has a safe haven they can start from. I'll make do without it. If it's still standing, the town of Flatwoods is further down this road. Find me there. This is the Overseer. Signing off. Well, they certainly thought so. Seeing the results for myself? I'm not so sure. Well, let me see. Oh, look at that. Yeah. I think that's everything. It's been a long journey, hasn't it? For both of us. Appalachia has changed. We've changed. I hope they helped. Well, remember, it's not a scavenger hunt. I put them in place to help you on your way, even when I can't be there personally. Exactly. Great minds, huh? The local plant even has all the equipment to make experimental beverages. Perfect for us hacking in the inoculation. The current occupants were giving me some trouble, though. I could use your help on this one. Meet you there? No. I don't get to let go of this that easily. I abandoned him. Yes, well, I'm glad you're putting the training to good use. I was doing what I could, while also trying to keep nuclear weapons out of the wrong hands. Remember? You might not like my decision, but the fact that you found all the tapes, and you're not dead, means they worked. I'm here now, okay? I never turned my back on you, on any of you. That's the truth. That's just it. I don't know. I thought they had let me into their plans, that we were special, but now I'm wondering if we were all just one big experiment to them. Just like everyone else. And What happens once there's more nukes landing on Appalachia than she can take? Look, I believe in Vault 76. I still do. That's why I know we'll get past this. I can't undo the nukes being used, but we can build a better future together. Pretty hypocritical for me, of all people, to take off on my own, huh? Oh. At first, I was just racing ahead, hoping that if there was any trouble, I'd hit it first. And then there were the nukes, the scorched plague. Seeing my old neighborhood bombed to pieces, I needed time. Freeloaders? This is a disease, not a contest. It doesn't care who wins. Just makes all of us lose. Let's just focus on what needs to happen next, okay? I know. You did what you were asked. And so did I. But now we need to think for ourselves more. Build the America and the Appalachia we want. The local Nuka-Cola plant. They even have all the equipment to make experimental sodas. It's the perfect vector for an oral inoculation. I was getting things up and running before the current occupants came back. I need extra hands. Meet me there? Something on your mind? Ever listen to a Nuka-Cola commercial? There's a plant of theirs right here in Appalachia. And we're gonna use it to make an oral inoculation. Meet me there? Everything on those holotapes is the truth. You have to understand. I believe that sacrifices were necessary for our survival. You're welcome. I'm just glad I can be here in person now. The real question is, how do you live with yourself, knowing that's what you've done? Honestly, you worry and hope and bargain and wish it's not true. And then one day you wake up, and it just doesn't bother you anymore. You've blinded yourself, so you can keep going. You have something to say to me? Say it. I grew up here. My parents used to live just down the hill. If there's one neighborhood I'm rebuilding first, it's this one. Good. I knew I could count on you. We can't rely on that old hospital holding out indefinitely. There's only one machine. It's a dangerous location. The list goes on. Securing the nukes was a goal, yes. But for me, our primary mission is, and will always be, rebuilding this country. It's not just about Vault-Tec's plans anymore. It's about what we need, what we want. We'll thrive here in Appalachia. In our own way. Thank you. But first things first. We can't let the disease spread to us. Looks like the responders were developing some kind of inoculation. I'm going to pick up their work. You should too. This is the Overseer. Signing off.
It may be time to leave, but I'll never forget the day you all entered Vault 76.
Overseer's log, Charleston Capitol. Overseer's log, Charleston Fire Department. Overseer's log, Fort Defiance. Overseer's log, top of the world. Overseer's log, town of Flatwoods. Overseer's log, somewhere in the mountains. Overseer's log, Grafton. Overseer's log, Missile Silo Alpha. Overseer's log, Camp McClintock. Overseer's log, or should I say, direct communication. Because whoever is listening to this had the moxie to try to find out where I've gone. Overseer's log, Free State's bunker. Overseer's log, Morgantown. Overseer's log, Camp Venture.
This is the Overseer. Signing off.
Overseer's log, Allegheny.
This is the Overseer.
He's laying it on a little thick, but good on you for showing some integrity. There's a better way. We'll find it. When I did these tests, there were bonus points for enthusiasm. I think we can safely say you've earned them all. You don't seriously believe that's how an overseer should talk, do you? God, is that what you think I sound like? When I first did a vault simulation, it was a water emergency. Had to ration what little we had. Some people died. Riots had to be contained. We were lucky 76 never had to go through either of these cases. But preparing for the worst is what being an overseer is. We can agree to disagree, but we're getting into that vault. I'm not familiar with this test scenario. Professor Bott must have come up with it on his own. The American government, built on the American dollar, gave you your freedom. Not only that, it gave you protection. Rights. Actually, I am. It's always ugly choosing sides, but it's better than letting factions divide the vault. Good work. It was almost good to see you again, Professor Bott. If this simulation is like the original ones, there's probably a key in his office we can grab. Or just pick the lock on the reactor door. If you won't do this for your country, then do it because we don't have a choice. People are going to try to get into that vault. They'll die trying to get through security. They'll die fighting over the gold, even if they do get through security. And if keeping all that from happening isn't enough for you, then I guarantee you, there's other things in that vault to plunder. Things we don't want in someone else's hands. America's gold reserves are in that vault. I had my suspicions about it, but now we know for sure. Vault 79's purpose is to store gold. Of course it's about control. The control to bring order to all this chaos. Do you want to keep living in this wasteland? We won't be able to do it alone. We need help. Even more importantly, we need people to buy in. See that gold as their future. Fortunately, you just made contact with two large groups of people who both seem to have their own talents. Good job. That's a solution any overseer should be proud for getting to. Everyone learns we have to work together. I see I'm not going to persuade you by appealing to your desire for a better tomorrow. Instead, think about all of the other useful things that could be in that vault. Useful and valuable things. And it could all be yours. I'm not going to deny that I need your help to get the gold. But whatever else you find in there is yours for the keeping. No questions asked. I hate to ask it, but there's a job I need you to do. It's always something in Appalachia. If you could help me out with this particular something, I'd appreciate it. Davenport picked something up on his sensors. If we don't deal with it, it's going to be a problem. I know I ask a lot of you, but there's another problem, and I can't think of anyone better suited to deal with it. You can find all the details on the terminal. I wrote everything down for you. Here, see Davenport for details. I need something else. Thanks. Here you go. Take this. You came through again. I'm gonna need your help. Great job. This note should have all the details you need. Thanks. Just follow up with Davenport. He can tell you everything you need. You came through again. Thank you. Sometimes I wonder if they should have made you the overseer. Thank you. Another job done by my favorite vault resident. I really don't know how you do it. Thank you. You need to get better gear and, sadly, better real-world training than we provided in the vault. Go to Flatwoods. The responders had a volunteer program that I know I found helpful. Before you do anything, you need to get inoculated against the scorch disease. You've seen what it does to people. Dr. Hudson was working on a cure. Her research lab was in the Morgantown airport. That should get you started. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'd recommend talking with the mayor of Grafton. There are a lot of opportunities for gear and salvage to be found in the Toxic Valley. And the mayor will send you to some prime spots. Listen, I can tell you've learned the basics, but the Savage Divide and Ash Heap, they're murder. Search for opportunities to learn and gear up in the forest and in Toxic Valley. You know, explore. You just what? Seriously? What were you doing in Vault 76 all these months? Ugh. All right, everyone was supposed to leave at Reclamation Day. My advice? Start pulling your weight and catch up, and maybe invest in an alarm clock. But you're just not ready. It's too dangerous. I can't in good conscience send you on it. Stay careful out there. Together we've made Appalachia safer. But she still has fangs. Before the bombs, everyone in Appalachia pushed their automation to the limit. Beyond the limit, really. The Grafton mayor is no exception. As crazy as that old console may seem, he can point you to many useful locations. I wish the responders had survived. They sound like courageous people. Sadly, all wiped out. But they automated some of their basic survival training. Just go to the church in Flatwoods, and their programs will take it from there. Is there anything else you want to talk about? It's time. You're ready. Ready to learn about the mission. Anything. Everything. Keep your eyes peeled for opportunities. But word of warning, stay clear of the space station. A group of raiders have claimed it. It's called Crater now. They may not shoot you on sight, but they don't like intruders. I know you have questions, and we'll get to them. I have an important mission. You're back. You're still not ready for the mission. I'm working on understanding Dr. Hudson's research better, and I hope someday soon a simple inoculation can be developed. But I'm not there yet. Her lab, however, can synthesize a specific vaccine for you, if it hasn't broken down again. I might be the only human being connected to this place that's still alive. My authority doesn't override yours. We won't be able to do it alone. We need help. Even more importantly, we need people to buy in. To see that gold as their future. Fortunately, you just made contact with two large groups of people who both seem to have their own talents. For once, the rumor mill gets it right. There is a treasure in that vault. All of America's gold reserves. Abandoned you? Do you have any idea how hard it was to walk out that vault door on my own? Knowing I might not see any of you ever again, breaking Vault-Tec protocol to leave behind my camp, the holotapes, the care packages, all with the vague hope that they might keep you all safe. I've never stopped being your overseer. Never. Yes, it did. But we have to look to our future. America is our mission now. The bar owner? Wasn't easy hauling them all the way to AVR Medical, and boy, do they love talking. I've got some plans to make this whole thing easier, but we need to get you taken care of first. So, did you finish it? The inoculation? Me too. It's good to see you, but we need to focus on the inoculation. Is it done? The inoculation. Have you finished it? All right. Go ahead. Let's hear 'em. Sometimes I honestly thought they'd be the last things I'd get to say to everyone. Oh, it's so good to see everyone again. You need to talk? I have time. Vault 76 is a family. We'll get through this together. We'll rebuild this country brick by brick if we have to. What? No. I wasn't questioning your judgment, just worrying out loud. With that being said, everything I know about the Raiders is that they believe in survival through strength. Are those really the kind of people that are going to use the gold to help in the rebuilding effort? I hope the newcomers take advantage of the example you tried to show them. We all need to work together if Appalachia is going to survive. One of these days, I'm gonna drill that cynicism out of your head. But fine. Moan and groan all you want. You've earned the right. I guess I'll just hold on to hope for the both of us. All right, you don't need to stand there while I talk about how I think you did a good job. But you did a good job. I didn't really know what to expect. Life in Appalachia is tenuous enough without introducing a vault full of gold into the equation. Things could have gone a lot worse. So, it's done. A vault full of gold. You can't really ask for a better symbol of prosperity, can you? It won't be an easy alliance, but we'll have plenty of time to deal with it in the future. Anyway, I'm sure you must have other questions. We can talk about them now if you want. Or if you're ready to head out, just be careful out there.
Damn it! Yeah, that hurt. Oh, getting too old for this.
We can take them.
I'm not about to let anything stop us.
Oh no, not today. A little help?
Damn, that was a big hit.
Oh God, that's a lot of blood. Let's get to those reactors. We need this place running before we can do anything. I'm sure by now you can see why I needed your help. I wonder how many of these ghouls used to be Nuka-Cola employees. The flavor lab was still intact when I managed to check on it last. Let's hope it stayed that way. Let's keep our fingers crossed that the equipment here is still in working condition. Davenport and I never could have pulled this off. Believe me. We tried. There's bound to be some power couplings around here somewhere. Look on the bright side. Power couplings are pretty trivial to find. The damage could have been much worse. Best thing about factories like these? They always keep spare parts on hand. Thank God we got that out of the way. Now let's get to that flavor lab. With power off our checklist, we're practically there. I knew this wasn't going to be the Appalachia I remembered, but... mutated animals? Haywire bots? No people so far. We have to be ready to rebuild in what I can confirm is hostile territory. Fortunately, Vault-Tec was prepared.
You come from every walk of life, every race, color, and creed. But you all share one very important trait. You are this country's best and brightest. But more importantly, you'll always be my family.
The inoculations, they're on their way? I doubt it. I think something must have gone wrong. The American government should have come to reclaim the gold. They should be here, but there's no point worrying about all that. We need to get into that vault ourselves, and more importantly, we need help to do it. Fortunately, you just made contact with two large groups of people who both seem to have their own talents. Exactly! No more barter or wild, unregulated proxies. It won't happen overnight, but one day we could have leverage to create a new economy, property rights, taxes, laws. A government. Our mission is to rebuild this country, remember? We were an economic powerhouse once. We could be that again. And it could start right here, in Appalachia. Do me a favor, talk to both of them. I doubt they'll work together, but we'll want all the options on the table. Afraid I don't have my old cap and gown to share with you. Hopefully, what we'll find in the restricted wing will be even better. Just listen, as closely as you can. What has gold always been used for in human history? Money. We could create our own currency. One with a legitimate authority backed by a real resource. No more barter or wild, unregulated proxies. It won't happen overnight, but one day we could have leverage to create a new economy. Property rights, taxes, laws. A government. Any luck with the newcomers yet? They convinced to accept our help? Hope Rose didn't give you any trouble. Well, more trouble than she typically is. Are the raiders convinced they need our help? How did it go with the settlers? Wouldn't be surprised if they were suspicious of strangers. They willing to accept our help? Keep an eye out. All kinds of things make their home in these old factories. That's what I thought. Now, we're going to the local Nuka-Cola plant. We're going to use their equipment to make an oral inoculation. I'll meet you there. A little biochemical engineering to round out the day. I'll get to work. You watch our backs. Overseer's log, Missile Silo Bravo. The security systems are still operational, just like at Site Alpha. My guess is that Site Charlie will be the same story. But I need to be sure. Still have no idea how I'm going to get the military credentials to gain access. I've now verified that all 3 missile silos still have fully operational security. No way inside yet, but I'll scour all of Appalachia if I have to. Overseer's log, Missile Silo Charlie. My hope, my fear, is that some other group of survivors tried to figure this out as well. We'll just have to keep looking. There were 3 active nuclear silos in Appalachia before the bombs fell. They blew up the world before. We can't let it happen again. So we've got to locate and secure all of the silos. Or die trying. Hopefully the former. Before they were wiped out, the survivors called themselves the Responders. Looks like they were made of firefighters, police, emergency medical staff. They even have an automated system to teach people about treating water, food, survival. I'm doing their tests, and you should too. With residents like you to boss around, why would I ever stop? If there's one thing I wish I could get through to you, it's this. You don't have to like me. I'm still your overseer. Whenever you need me, I'll be right here. So, with the mystery of Vault 79 solved and the gold recovered, maybe it's time to start thinking about what kind of future we all want to make. If you want my honest opinion, then I'd say yes, you did the right thing. On the other hand, the people at Foundation work together for their mutual benefit. That sets a good example for the rebuilding effort to come. All right, sorry for prying. Old overseer habit. We answer to each other, got it? I've taken my share of criticism as overseer. Believe me, your actions affect more than just you. We needed the newcomers to see that gold as their future. Now they'll have doubts. I just hope you're prepared for the work ahead. You will be making this up to them. Somehow. Yes, exactly. Rebuilding America is about more than just industry. You have to have a stake in the outcome. And you've given them one. They know how to cooperate, and they genuinely seem to want to help other people. In other words, they're just the kind of people we'll need for the rebuilding effort. If we're talking about who deserves the bulk of the credit, it's you. No question. But that gold's value comes from being in more people's hands than just yours. That was the idea, remember? Get people invested in a gold-backed currency. Look, economies are built on trust. Law and order is built on trust. In the long run, you're going to have to make this up to them. Somehow. I hope the Raiders appreciate that gold you gave them. To be honest, I'm worried about their reliability. You think you can handle them? I'm curious. Why choose Foundation to share the gold with? I have my thoughts, but I want to hear yours. Listen, I'm not mad. Well, maybe just not as mad as you might think. I asked a lot of you, and you delivered on what counts. That's the important thing. Fair enough. I have a feeling we'll be dealing with the Raiders for a long time to come. But that was probably going to be true whether or not they got any gold, given the options before you. I can definitely understand why you chose to trust the Foundation settlers instead. I'll admit, in the end, they helped us out after all. I'm sure this wasn't exactly what they had in mind, but who knows? You took some risks, and I'm sure it wasn't easy, but you did it. In the end, that's all that matters. Appalachia isn't just ours anymore. Like it or not, more people are here. They're not going to go away just because we give them dirty looks. The point of that gold was to get more people invested in it. Remember? A gold-backed currency needs to be our goal. I just hope you haven't soured everyone to the idea that we're the right stewards for it. I'm not saying your decision was wrong, but was that really the example you wanted to set? Here's hoping this works. I'm pretty familiar with all of this, so if you're feeling uncomfortable, just let me know. We worked with stuff like this all the time back in the day. I assume it's kind of like riding a bike, right? Really, if you need a hand, just let me know. I'm more than willing to do my part here. I used to love coming here on weekends, taking flight lessons. Now it feels like I walked into a nightmare. Even getting into the vault at all is going to be a challenge, let alone dealing with that buffet line of intrusion countermeasures. But the reward? Put aside the base instinct of hoarding wealth. What could we do with a vault full of precious metals? Not my first pick, but it's hard to argue with your point. Do me a favor. Talk to them both. Get all the options on the table. I know there's a restricted section of the university. You think the students never noticed who comes and goes? Not as much today, but that's just it. Put aside the base instinct of hoarding wealth. What could we do with a vault full of precious metals? Here, this has to be it. Let's see what they left behind. Hear me out. What has gold always been used for in human history? Money. We could create our own currency, one with a legitimate authority backed by a real resource. No more barter or wild, unregulated proxies. It won't happen overnight. But one day, we could have leverage to create a new economy. Property rights, taxes, laws. A government. Appalachia isn't just ours anymore. We need people whose talents aren't covered in the Vault-Tec training manuals. Look, talk to them both. See if they can help us. We can plan more once we know what all our options are. Isolating the antibodies in your blood sample. Okay. That's a lot. Give me a second. I need to find the ones produced by the inoculation. That's it! We're ready for manufacturing! Okay, I've got it! Now we need a little biofactory to produce the antibodies in the drink. Can't make Nuka-Cola without yeast. And it's simple enough that we should be able to do a splice. Being overseer isn't about lording over others or acting smart. It's about providing direction, so everyone knows where to go. Sometimes that means getting ahead of a problem. Sometimes that means telling people what to do. But it's not about me. It's about all of you. We're going to the local Nuka-Cola plant, and we're going to create an oral inoculation. We have to stop this plague, for everyone's sake. Now get your gear ready and get moving. I'll meet you there. Nuka-Cola. Kinda makes you thirsty being around all this branding, doesn't it? We mass-produce this vaccine, and Appalachia is one step closer to being free of the scorched. We should keep moving. Let's go. We did a good thing here. You should be proud. You go ahead and deliver the vaccine. I'll meet you back in Sutton. That means something, coming from the person who did so much of the work. We owe you a lot. In fact, I'll admit that I hadn't dared to hope things would turn out this well. As long as they don't forget that their strength comes from our help. They seem to have short memories. Well, I may not trust them, but I trust you. You had to make a decision. If they decide to hoard the gold for themselves, then there wasn't much point in giving it to them. I just hope they remember which one of those you are. Their respect seems to be fickle. But you know them better than I do. I trust your judgment. I see a lot of promise in that settlement, those people. I think you did the right thing. Shouldn't I be the one saying that? You made contact with the newcomers. You assembled a team. You got into that vault. All I did was give you a firm shove out the door. It's what overseers do, I guess. Well, they have a common person to gripe about now. You. But they also know you'll treat them equally and can solve their problems. Welcome to the thankless world of leadership. We're going to need a lot of that in the years to come. I don't know. But we'd be fools if we didn't think it was a possibility they considered. I'm done worrying about the societal preservation program, the right and wrong of it, whether we're just following their plans or not. That's why I'm not going anywhere. And I hope you won't either. Well, I'm sure you've got other more important things to do than listen to me preach about my mission as overseer. Come and visit any time if you need me. I'll be here, keeping an eye on Appalachia as best I can. If we're lucky, one day people will look back and say that the rebirth of America began right here. I'll be around if you need me. My door's always open for you. Is it true? You really kept every single gold bar for yourself? Hoarding victory? Upsetting our new allies? What were you thinking? Splitting the gold between Foundation and the Crater. Ooh, I have to say, I'm impressed. It's not easy to be fair, to reach out to all sides. Still running after all this time. Nuka-Cola always did have state-of-the-art equipment. With the power back on, I'm sure we're going to be seeing a few more friends. You've become pretty handy in a pinch. They sure don't teach you those skills in the vault. We need to find something that could extract a sample of your blood. Oddly enough, I'm pretty sure they're equipped for that. Nuka-Cola always had some interesting agendas. Let's just say the public was better off. This is quite the lab. You'd never guess all this was just for finding the next best soda. All we need to do is calibrate the sequencer, and we should be set to start the manufacturing process. Maybe we don't give any details out on what's in this inoculation. Although, anyone with a mind for science is going to have a pretty good idea. Hope that reactor is ready for a jump start. Its dormant days are coming to an end. I'm ready to get this process started. Let's just hope the equipment here is up for the job. Let's hope this formulation works. If I've done all my calculations right, we shouldn't have any issues. That was pretty exciting. Good to know I still got it. Davenport was essential in these measurements. Without his mechanical mind, I'm sure I'd still be spinning my wheels on some of it. I hope those people at the Crater and Foundation can fully appreciate what you've done for them. After all this excitement, I'll be happy to get home to Davenport and a nice cup of coffee. Remember to meet me back at Sutton when you're done. Once I know everyone's on board, we can work on some real distribution.